Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while others struggle for years with barely anything to show for it? What if I told you that money doesn't gradually drift toward you? It falls like gravity in an instant. That's right. The moment you truly align with wealth, it drops into your life without resistance or delay. Think about this for a moment. Gravity doesn't negotiate. An apple doesn't slowly, hesitantly make its way to the ground when it falls from a tree. It drops decisively, inevitably. What if your financial reality worked exactly the same way? What if the only thing standing between you and abundance was a single command, spoken with complete authority? Has this ever happened to you? One day you're struggling, watching every penny, and then suddenly an unexpected opportunity appears. Almost as if from nowhere. That wasn't coincidence. That was the law at work, the same law I'm about to share with you today. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. The truth about manifestation that most gurus never tell you is this: it's not about repeating endless affirmations until you're blue in the face. It's not about vision boards or hoping the universe notices your desires. Those approaches might eventually work, but they're the slow path, the uncertain path. What I'm talking about is different. It's about understanding that your voice, when spoken with true authority, operates like a law of nature. Just as gravity pulls the apple from the tree without fail, your authoritative voice pulls money into your life without resistance. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what you're about to discover might completely transform how you view wealth creation. This isn't some mystical teaching with no practical application. This is about understanding the mechanics behind why some people call money into their lives with ease, while others struggle endlessly. You've probably already proven this law works in your own life, though you might not have realized it. When you've said with conviction, "I never have enough," didn't your reality conform to that statement? When you declared, "Money always slips through my fingers," didn't it happen exactly as you said? Your words weren't just observations, they were commands, and reality obeyed. The exciting news is that if your words had the power to create lack, then they also have the power to create abundance. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you the exact command that makes money appear in your life, not gradually, not eventually, but with the same certainty and immediacy as gravity pulling that apple to the ground. What makes this command different is that it doesn't require endless repetition. True power never begs. True power speaks once, and the universe rearranges itself accordingly. And when you say this command with complete certainty, you'll feel it, not as a hope or a wish, but as an inevitable force, like gravity itself. Imagine for a moment what it would feel like to have complete certainty about your financial future. Not hope, not wishful thinking, but absolute certainty. This is the hidden truth behind manifestation that most people miss entirely. The words I'm about to share with you don't merely attract money gradually over time. They make it appear through the sheer weight of certainty and the inevitability of wealth. This is where most manifestation teachings fall short. They focus on attraction, as if you need to slowly coax money toward you like a shy animal. But that's not how the universe works. Money isn't playing hard to get. It isn't testing you or making you prove yourself worthy. The transformation happens in an instant when you understand this crucial distinction. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by revealing the fundamental law that governs wealth. Money moves according to law, not according to whim or random chance. Just like gravity doesn't randomly decide when to work, the laws of financial abundance operate with perfect consistency. Money isn't ignoring you or waiting for permission to enter your life. It simply moves according to universal law, and your authoritative call activates this law instantly. If this approach to wealth manifestation resonates with you, hit that subscribe button now to access more powerful commands that can transform your financial reality. Think about what happens when you drop something. Do you need to beg gravity to work? Do you need to repeat "fall, please fall" 50 times before the object hits the ground? Of course not. Gravity operates without your permission, without your pleading. It simply is. And the journey to wealth operates in exactly the same way. The mindset shift required here is profound. Most people approach wealth with a begging bowl mentality, hoping, wishing, pleading for money to notice them. But what if your relationship with money was completely different? What if, instead of chasing after it, you simply called it to you with the authority of someone who understands these universal laws? Behind the scenes of every wealthy person's life is this exact understanding. They may not articulate it this way. They may not even be consciously aware of what they're doing, but their relationship with money is fundamentally different. They speak, and money responds. They command, and wealth appears. Your decisions around money have always been powerful. Every time you've said, "I can't afford that," or "money is hard to come by," you weren't just making an observation. You were issuing a command that reality had no choice but to obey. The impact of these casual statements has shaped your financial reality more than any external circumstance. What makes this approach different from anything you've tried before is that it doesn't require you to change your entire life. You don't need a new job, new skills, or even new habits. You only need to change how you speak to reality itself. When you issue the command I'm about to share with you, you'll feel it resonate at a level deeper than thought. You'll feel it in your body, in your bones, as if some ancient part of you recognizes its power. Money doesn't resist those who speak with authority. It doesn't delay or play favorites. It responds to law just as reliably as physics or mathematics. And when you align yourself with this law, the revelations will begin appearing in your everyday life, not as coincidences, but as the natural unfolding of the command you've issued. If what I'm sharing resonates with your experience, write in the comments. Money responds to commands, not wishes. This simple acknowledgement begins to shift your relationship with wealth from hoping to knowing, from asking to commanding. One of the most profound revelations in Joseph Murphy's teaching is this: you are already that which you want to be. Most people misinterpret this statement. They think it means pretending to be wealthy until someday, through some miracle of persistence, they actually become wealthy. But that's not what Murphy meant at all. He was pointing to something far deeper, a fundamental truth about the nature of reality itself. This isn't about wishful thinking or endless visualization exercises. The transformation occurs when you understand that your declaration of certainty actually collapses the waiting time. It's not that you're becoming wealthy, it's that you're recognizing the wealth that was always yours to command. This mindset shift is subtle but revolutionary. Think of it this way. When an actor steps into a role, they don't hope to become the character. They embody the character instantly. There's no waiting period, no gradual transformation. They simply are the character from the moment they make that decision. Your relationship with wealth works exactly the same way. The moment you declare with absolute certainty that money responds to your command, you collapse the waiting time. You aren't gradually becoming the person who commands money. You already are that person. The journey to this understanding often begins when you realize you've already been using this law, just in reverse. Behind the scenes of your financial struggles is a powerful truth. When you've said, "I never get opportunities," or "money slips through my fingers," reality obeyed those commands just as faithfully as it will obey your positive commands. You've been unknowingly using this law against yourself. This is the hidden truth that few people ever confront. Your words have never been casual observations. They've been commands all along. Every time you've said, "I can never catch a break," financially, you weren't describing your situation. You were creating it. The impact of these negative commands has been shaping your reality with perfect precision. Reality doesn't judge your commands as good or bad. It simply executes them with perfect fidelity. The revelations begin when you realize that if negative commands worked so effortlessly, without repetition, without vision boards, without any conscious manifestation techniques, then positive commands work exactly the same way. You don't need to convince the universe of anything. You simply need to speak with the same certainty when commanding wealth that you've unknowingly used when commanding lack. This awareness represents the most significant crossroads in your financial journey. In one direction lies the continuation of the accidental self-sabotage you've been engaged in. In the other direction lies the conscious use of the same power, but this time aligned with what you actually desire. The difference isn't in learning new skills or techniques. It's simply in becoming aware of what you've been doing all along. When you look at your financial history through this lens, doesn't it suddenly make perfect sense why things have unfolded exactly as they have? Type, "I've been commanding all along" in the comments if you're starting to see how your words have been shaping your financial reality without you even realizing it. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by sharing a powerful metaphor that illustrates exactly how your commands work in the universe. Imagine a bell tower that stands silent in the center of a city. For hours, days, or even years, it makes no sound. But the moment someone strikes it, just once, the sound echoes across the entire city, reaching every corner, reverberating through every street. That's the perfect illustration of your call of authority. It isn't constant noise. It isn't desperate repetition. It's one decisive strike that reverberates through the entire fabric of reality. This insight completely transforms how you approach manifestation. Most people treat their relationship with wealth like they're trying to convince a stubborn friend, repeating themselves over and over, hoping that persistence will eventually pay off. But the universe isn't stubborn or reluctant. It's perfectly receptive to your commands, but only when they're issued with the authentic authority that comes from understanding this law. One of the most profound revelations on this journey is recognizing the fundamental mistake most people make, confusing repetition with power. They believe if they say something 50 times, it becomes 50 times more powerful. But true power never needs to repeat itself. Think about the most powerful people you know. Do they repeat themselves constantly, or do they speak once, with such clarity and authority that everyone listens? Behind the scenes of genuine manifestation is this hidden truth. A single statement, made with absolute certainty, carries more creative power than 1,000 repetitions made with doubt. When you strike the bell once with full force, the sound travels farther than tapping it gently 100 times. Your relationship with money operates by the same principle. The breakthrough comes when you realize you've been training the universe to ignore you. Every time you repeat an affirmation with a subtle undercurrent of "I hope this works," you're actually reinforcing the opposite message, that you don't truly believe what you're saying. The mindset shift required is to move from the desperate energy of repetition to the quiet confidence of speaking once and knowing it is done. This is why some people seem to manifest with such effortless grace. It's not that they're special or chosen. It's that they've understood, whether consciously or unconsciously, that the universe responds to authority, not to repetition. When they say something will happen, there's no inner conflict, no subtle doubt, undermining their words. They've aligned their entire being with their declaration, and that alignment is what creates the impact. Think about the decisions you make when you're absolutely certain. There's a different quality to them, isn't there? A different feeling in your body. That feeling is what we're after, not the words themselves, but the unshakable certainty that makes those words reverberate through reality like the sound of a bell through a silent city. If you recognize this pattern in your own life, how your most powerful manifestations came not from desperate repetition, but from quiet certainty, type "one strike is all it takes" in the comments below. This acknowledgement is the first step toward reclaiming your natural authority. Let's explore what this means for your daily practice with wealth manifestation. The decree that pulls money into your life doesn't require weeks or months of repetition. It requires something far more fundamental: authority. The words that money cannot resist don't gain power through time. They gain power through the certainty with which you speak them. This represents a complete paradigm shift from how most people approach manifestation. Think about the difference between these two approaches. The first person spends 20 minutes every morning repeating affirmations about wealth, hoping that eventually the universe will take notice. The second person speaks once, with such complete alignment between their words and their being, that the decree becomes inevitable, like a law of nature being activated. Which approach do you think creates real transformation? The blueprint for this understanding has been hiding in plain sight all along. Consider how quickly your negative thoughts manifest. When you wake up thinking, "Today is going to be terrible," that thought doesn't need weeks of repetition to come true. It often manifests immediately because there's no resistance between your thought and your acceptance of it. Your positive decrees can work exactly the same way when issued with that same level of acceptance. Subscribe today and join thousands of others who are discovering how to activate the law of financial abundance through these proven commands. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by addressing a fundamental misunderstanding about money itself. Money doesn't drift slowly toward you like a shy animal gradually learning to trust. It doesn't hide from you, testing whether you're worthy. When called with authentic authority, it simply appears as a natural response, the same way light appears when you flip a switch. This isn't mysterious or magical, it's simply how the system is designed to work. The journey toward financial abundance begins when you recognize that your relationship with money has been backward. You've been chasing what was designed to chase you. You've been begging for what was meant to respond to your command. The catalyst for change happens when you stop seeing money as something external to you, something you need to convince or attract, and start seeing it as a natural extension of your own authority. Behind the scenes of every wealthy person's life is this revelation. They don't hope for money, they expect it, command it, decree it. And their decree carries the weight of absolute certainty. This isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about alignment with the fundamental laws that govern abundance. Just as you don't hope gravity will work when you drop something, you know it will. These individuals don't hope money will come. They know it will. The mindset required for this level of certainty often feels foreign at first. We've been conditioned to approach wealth with hesitancy, with qualifications, with doubts. But imagine for a moment what it would feel like to issue a decree about money with the same certainty you have about sunrise tomorrow. That feeling, that unshakable knowing, is what creates the impact that rearranges your financial reality. If you're beginning to sense this shift in perspective, from chasing money to commanding it, write "Money responds to my decree" in the comments. This simple acknowledgement begins to activate the very principle we're discussing. Let me share a powerful metaphor that perfectly illustrates how wealth moves in your life. Have you ever stood on the beach and watched the tide pull back? At first, it seems gentle, almost imperceptible, just a slight shifting of the waters. But then it gathers. Momentum building strength until it becomes an unstoppable force that transforms the entire shoreline. That's exactly how money moves when you issue your call of authority. At first, the signs might be subtle. A small unexpected discount, a refund you weren't expecting, an opportunity that seems to appear out of nowhere. But don't be fooled by these gentle beginnings. Just like the tide, once the movement begins, it gathers strength until wealth flows toward you with unstoppable certainty. This perspective completely transforms how you view those initial signs of abundance. Most people dismiss small financial windfalls as meaningless coincidences. But when you understand the tide metaphor, you recognize these seemingly minor events as the first indications of a much larger movement, the beginning of the tide that will eventually flood your life with abundance. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by addressing a fundamental misconception that keeps most people locked in. Financial struggle. The appearance of money in your life isn't random or lucky. It isn't about being in the right place at the right time or knowing the right people. Manifestation operates by precise, consistent laws. The same laws that move planets in orbit, create eclipses at the exact predicted moment, and pull apples to the ground. This revelation completely removes the element of uncertainty from your financial journey. Think about what this means for your relationship with wealth. If money appears according to law rather than luck, then financial abundance isn't a matter of chance. It's a matter of alignment. Just as you wouldn't attribute an apple falling to luck, you no longer need to attribute your financial circumstances to random fortune. This shift in understanding creates a profound sense of empowerment. You're no longer at the mercy of capricious economic forces. You're working with reliable, predictable principles that never fail. The awakening happens when you truly internalize this truth. Behind the scenes of every lucky break and fortunate circumstance is simply the operation of universal law. The people we call lucky are often just unconsciously aligned with these laws. They haven't been randomly selected for success. They've unknowingly positioned themselves in harmony with the principles that govern abundance. Your journey toward financial freedom accelerates dramatically when you stop hoping to get lucky and start deliberately aligning with these immutable laws. This mindset shift doesn't just change how you think about money, it changes how money responds to you. When you approach your finances with the confident expectation of someone who understands universal law rather than the desperate hope of someone playing the lottery, the impact is immediate and tangible. If you're beginning to see how your financial life reflects these universal principles rather than random chance, type "I align with the law of abundance" in the comments. This acknowledgement is a powerful step toward conscious alignment with the laws we're discussing. Here's one of the most liberating revelations you'll ever encounter on your financial journey. Reality doesn't reward begging. Most people approach the universe as if it's a stern parent who might be convinced to give an allowance if they plead passionately enough. They believe if they just want something badly enough, if they just visualize hard enough, if they just demonstrate sufficient need, the universe will eventually take pity and reward their efforts. But this fundamental misunderstanding keeps them trapped in a cycle of lack. The breakthrough comes when you realize that reality doesn't pick favorites. It doesn't reward the most deserving, the most passionate, or the most desperate. It simply obeys laws, consistently, impartially, and without exception. This isn't cold or impersonal. It's actually the most empowering truth you could possibly discover. Because once you understand that reality responds to law rather than favoritism, you can stop trying to be worthy of abundance and simply align yourself with the principles that create it. Think about what this means for your manifestation practice. You no longer need to convince the universe that you deserve wealth. You don't need to justify your desires or demonstrate your worthiness. You simply need to issue your call with the quiet authority of someone who understands how the system works. This transformation in approach changes everything from the energy you bring to your financial goals to the results you experience. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by sharing another powerful metaphor that perfectly illustrates how your commands operate in the universe. Have you ever shouted across a canyon and listened to your voice echo back to you? That sound doesn't simply disappear after you speak. It travels across the open space, bounces off the distant walls, and returns to you, often louder and more expansive than when it left your lips. Your authoritative call for wealth operates by the same principle. When you issue your command with absolute certainty, it doesn't vanish into nothingness. It travels through the fabric of reality, gathering momentum, amplifying as it goes, until it eventually returns to you multiplied. This explains why manifestation often exceeds our original vision. It's not just that we get exactly what we asked for. We often receive it multiplied, expanded, enhanced. Beyond our original conception, the echo comes back richer than the original sound. The revelation here is that you don't need to keep repeating your command to make it more powerful. Just as you wouldn't shout the same phrase repeatedly across a canyon, you speak once and then listen as the echo returns. Your financial decree works the same way. You issue it once with complete authority, and then you watch as it reverberates through reality, gathering power until it returns to you manifested. This principle completely transforms how you practice manifestation. Instead of exhausting yourself with constant repetition and reinforcement, your work becomes much simpler. Speak once with unshakable certainty, then step back and allow the echo to do its work. This isn't passive waiting, it's confident expectation. It's the calm assurance of someone who understands that once the sound has left their lips, the echo is inevitable. If this principle of the cosmic echo resonates with you, the understanding that your words don't disappear but return multiplied, write "I speak once with authority" in the comments below. One of Joseph Murphy's most profound teachings was to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Many misunderstand this concept, thinking it means pretending to have something until it eventually manifests. But the deeper revelation behind this teaching is far more powerful. Murphy understood that assumption isn't just a psychological trick, it's a spiritual law that operates with the same certainty as physical laws. When you truly assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you're not engaging in make-believe. You're activating a principle as definite as the strike of a bell or the pull of the tide. It's one decisive moment that cannot be undone. Think about what this means for your relationship with wealth. The transformation doesn't happen gradually through repetition or persistence. It happens in an instant, the moment you genuinely assume the feeling of your financial freedom as an accomplished fact. This isn't about manufacturing emotions or forcing yourself to feel something you don't. It's about tapping into the reality that already exists in potential form and bringing it into your present experience through the power of genuine assumption. The breakthrough comes when you realize that assumption isn't something you do. It's something you are. It's not a technique or a practice. It's a state of being that aligns you with the reality you desire to experience. When your assumption is complete, when there's no gap between what you're assuming and what you're accepting as true, manifestation becomes inevitable. Not because you've convinced the universe of anything, but because you've aligned yourself with what was already true in potential form. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by sharing a powerful metaphor that perfectly captures the inevitability of your financial manifestation. Consider an eclipse. You can't force an eclipse to happen. You can't chase it or hurry it along. But when the time comes, when the celestial bodies align precisely as they must, the eclipse unfolds with absolute, perfect certainty. There's no struggle, no effort, no forcing. There's simply the inevitable unfolding of what must be, according to universal law. Your financial manifestation operates with that same inevitability. When you've issued your command with authority, when you've assumed the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your prosperity doesn't need to be forced or manipulated into existence. It simply unfolds with the same certainty as the eclipse arriving exactly when it's meant to. This perspective completely transforms how you relate to the timing of your manifestation. You're no longer anxiously waiting, wondering if it will happen. You're calmly observing the inevitable unfolding of what has already been set in motion. The mindset shift required here is profound. Most people approach manifestation with an energy of making something happen, forcing, controlling, manipulating circumstances to create their desired outcome. But the eclipse doesn't struggle to appear. It doesn't exert effort or force. It simply is, unfolding with perfect precision according to immutable cosmic laws. Your financial abundance works exactly the same way when you understand and align with the principles behind it. This revelation brings a profound sense of peace to your manifestation journey. Behind the scenes of every successful manifestation is this quality of relaxed certainty. Not the frantic energy of someone trying to make something happen, but the calm assurance of someone watching the eclipse unfold exactly as it must. This isn't passive or fatalistic. It's the supreme confidence that comes from understanding how manifestation actually works. If you're beginning to feel this shift from effortful striving to calm certainty in your own financial journey, type, "I allow the inevitable," in the comments below. Have you ever noticed the stark difference between how most people pursue wealth and how the truly prosperous carry themselves? This contrast reveals one of the most telling signs of those who genuinely understand these principles. They aren't frantically chasing money, constantly anxious about their financial future, or desperately trying one get-rich-quick scheme after another. Instead, they move through life with a quiet, unshakable certainty, a profound inner knowing that their prosperity is already secured. This certainty isn't arrogance or delusion. It's the natural byproduct of understanding how manifestation actually works. When you truly grasp that once your call is made with authority, the law is automatically set in motion, your entire energy shifts. You're no longer living in the anxious space of, "Will this work?" You're living in the calm assurance of, "This is already done." The transformation in your demeanor is immediate and unmistakable. Look at the people you know, who seem to attract wealth effortlessly. Notice the quality of their conversations about money. They don't constantly worry about it or obsess over it. They don't speak with desperate urgency about their financial goals. There's a relaxed confidence in their approach, almost as if they're simply waiting for what they already know is coming. This isn't coincidence. It's evidence of their alignment with the principles we're discussing. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by revealing a profound truth that most people never fully grasp. Your words have always been powerful. They have always been manifesting your reality, whether you were conscious of it or not. When you've casually said things like, "I'll never get ahead financially," or "rich people are just lucky," life has consistently bent to agree with those assessments, not because you chanted these phrases like affirmations, but because you spoke them with genuine belief. The revelation here is that you've already proven how powerful your words are. Every financial circumstance in your life right now is the direct result of words you've spoken in the past, both to others and to yourself in your private thoughts. This isn't meant to create guilt or regret. It's meant to awaken you to the creative power you've been wielding all along, often unconsciously and against your own desires. Think about the implications of this understanding. If your casual, careless words about lack and limitation were powerful enough to create your current financial reality, then your deliberate, authoritative words about abundance will be equally powerful in creating your future prosperity. You don't need to develop some new skill or acquire some special manifestation ability. You simply need to direct consciously the same power you've been using unconsciously all along. This journey of financial transformation isn't about becoming something you're not. It's about recognizing what you already are, a being whose words shape reality. The catalyst for change isn't learning new techniques or strategies. It's becoming aware of the creative power behind every word you speak and every thought you think. When this awareness dawns, your relationship with money transforms automatically because you can no longer speak carelessly about your finances. If you're recognizing the power your words have always had in creating your financial reality, type "My words create my wealth" in the comments. This acknowledgement begins the process of consciously directing your creative power. Let me share something crucial about this command that most manifestation teachers never discuss: the physical sensation that accompanies true authority. When you speak the command properly, you'll feel it in your body. This isn't a subtle, wishful feeling or the fragile hope that comes with repeating conventional affirmations. It's a visceral, unmistakable sensation, heavy like gravity itself, echoing inside you, literally pulling reality toward you. This physical response is your body's confirmation that you've activated something real, not just engaged in mental exercise. Think about a moment when you made a decision with absolute certainty, perhaps walking away from a toxic relationship or quitting a soul-crushing job. Remember that feeling in your chest, that sense of heaviness combined with relief. That physical sensation wasn't just emotion. It was your body registering the impact of your decision on reality itself. When you issue your financial command with true authority, you'll feel that exact same weight, that same unmistakable knowing. The revelation here is that your body is designed to confirm when you've issued a genuine command versus when you're just mouthing words you hope might be true. This physical feedback system is built into your very being, providing instant verification of when you've aligned with universal law. Most people miss these physical signals entirely, dismissing them as meaningless emotions rather than recognizing them as confirmation of their creative power in action. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by addressing a critical distinction that transforms this teaching from theoretical to practical. This command is not about imagination or wishful thinking. It's not a psychological trick or a self-help technique. It's about consciously activating a natural law that operates with the same consistency and certainty as gravity or the ocean tides. This perspective shift changes everything about how you approach manifestation. The breakthrough happens when you move from seeing these principles as helpful metaphors to recognizing them as descriptions of how reality actually functions. Behind the scenes of every manifestation practice is this fundamental truth: the universe operates according to precise, immutable laws. Your command doesn't create these laws or convince the universe to make an exception for you. It simply activates what was already there, waiting for your conscious participation. Think about the difference between these two approaches to wealth. The first person visualizes money coming to them, repeating affirmations and hoping their positive thinking will somehow attract abundance. The second person issues a single command with the quiet authority of someone who understands they're working with natural law, not against it. The first approach may eventually yield results through persistence. The second approach creates immediate shift because it's aligned with how manifestation actually works. This mindset transformation doesn't just change how you practice manifestation. It changes the very foundation of your relationship with reality. You're no longer begging the universe for favors or trying to manifest against the current. You're simply learning to work consciously with the same laws that have been operating in your life all along. This isn't mystical or supernatural. It's as practical and reliable as understanding how to work with electricity or gravity. If you're beginning to feel this shift from wishful thinking to working with universal law, type "I command" with natural law in the comments below. One of the most poignant realizations on this journey of financial transformation is how many people spend their entire lives circling around this truth without ever quite reaching it. They read the books, attend the seminars, repeat the affirmations, create the vision boards, and still find themselves wondering why genuine abundance remains elusive. The tragedy isn't that they're far from the answer, it's that they're often just one insight away, circling endlessly around the very principle that would change everything. Think about your own financial journey for a moment. How many times have you felt that you were on the verge of a breakthrough, only to find yourself sliding back into familiar patterns of lack? This cycle is incredibly common, and it reveals something profound about the human experience. We're often drawn to the truth instinctively. We can sense its presence, but our conditioning pulls us away from the very revelation that would set us free. The catalyst for transformation isn't found in discovering some obscure technique or secret formula. It's found in finally allowing yourself to step into the center of what you've been circling around all along. The principle that makes money appear isn't hiding from you. It's been waiting patiently for you to recognize what was always there, your inherent authority to command reality through your words. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by bringing your awareness to this particular moment in your journey. Right now, as you're hearing these words, you're standing in what could be called the pause before the surge. Think about what happens at the beach just before a massive wave rises. The water pulls back, creating an eerie stillness. The air grows tense. Everything seems to hold its breath in anticipation. That's where you are right now in your relationship with wealth. This pause isn't empty or meaningless. It's charged with potential. It's the gathering of momentum before the expression of power. In the language of physics, it's potential energy converting to kinetic energy. In the language of manifestation, it's the moment before everything changes, when the command you're about to issue rearranges your entire financial reality. The revelation here is that this moment of pause is itself sacred. Most people rush through it, eager to get to the results. But those who understand these principles recognize that the quality of this pause, the depth of certainty you cultivate before speaking, determines the power of what follows. Think of it as drawing back the bow before releasing the arrow. The further back you draw, the more force the arrow carries when released. Behind the scenes of every powerful manifestation is this quality of conscious pause, this moment of gathering your authority. Before expressing it, the mindset shift required is to stop seeing this pause as delay and start recognizing it as an essential part of the manifestation process. It's not that your abundance is being withheld, it's that the universe is gathering resources, aligning circumstances, and preparing to respond to the command you're about to issue. As you feel this pause, this gathering of momentum in your own life, type "I stand in the power of the pause" in the comments below. One of the most remarkable aspects of this financial transformation is that you'll actually feel the energy of money moving toward you before you see tangible evidence in your bank account. Have you ever stood near railroad tracks as a train approaches? Before you see the train itself, you feel the vibration in the ground. The air changes. Your body registers the approach of something powerful long before your eyes confirm it. That's exactly how manifestation works when you issue your command with true authority. This physical sensing isn't wishful thinking or imagination. It's your body's natural ability to detect energy shifts before they materialize into physical form. You might notice a subtle feeling of excitement for no apparent reason. You might experience random thoughts about possibilities that weren't on your radar before. You might even feel drawn to certain people or opportunities without understanding why. These sensations aren't coincidental. They're confirmation that your command is already working, already rearranging energy patterns before they solidify into physical reality. The revelation here is that manifestation always works from the invisible to the visible, from energy to matter. Most people miss these early signs completely because they're fixated exclusively on physical evidence. They're looking for the money in their account, not feeling the vibration in the tracks. This awareness of energy shifts becomes your secret advantage, your ability to confidently proceed even before external reality has caught up with the internal shift you've created. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by addressing the single most common reason people fail to manifest lasting wealth. Most people approach financial abundance as something they must chase, pursue, or hunt down through endless effort and struggle. They believe if they just work hard enough, sacrifice enough, or persist long enough, they'll eventually catch the elusive prey of prosperity. But this fundamental misunderstanding of how wealth operates keeps them locked in exhausting cycles of effort with diminishing returns. The breakthrough comes when you realize that wealth isn't something you chase. It's something that responds to your call. This perspective completely inverts the traditional approach to financial success. Instead of you pursuing money, money is actually designed to pursue you when you issue the right command with the right authority. This shift in understanding transforms your entire relationship with manifestation. Think about the implications for your daily journey. When wealth is something you chase, every day becomes another exhausting pursuit, another uphill battle against resistance. But when wealth is something that responds to your call, your energy completely shifts. You're no longer depleting yourself through endless pursuit. You're simply issuing your command and then moving through your day with the quiet certainty that abundance is already responding. This mindset transformation explains why so many hardworking people remain financially frustrated, while others seem to manifest prosperity with remarkable ease. It's not that the second group isn't taking action or putting in effort. It's that their actions come from a completely different foundation, not the desperate energy of chasing, but the magnetic energy of calling. The first approach depletes, the second approach energizes. If you're beginning to recognize how you've been exhausting yourself by chasing what was designed to respond to your call, type "I call wealth" instead of chasing it in the comments below. One of Joseph Murphy's most profound teachings often gets overlooked in modern manifestation practices. He didn't advocate for endless repetition or begging the universe for what you desire. Instead, he taught something far more powerful. Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption. Notice the precision of this statement. He didn't say, "Try to believe" or "work on believing." He said, "Dare to believe," as if the only thing standing between you and complete certainty is your own courage to accept what's already true. This perspective completely transforms how you approach manifestation. Belief isn't something you gradually build through repetition. It's a decision you make once, a leap you take in a single moment of courage. And once that leap is taken, once that decision is made, you don't need to keep convincing yourself or reminding the universe, because belief isn't a technique, it's law, and law doesn't need reinforcement or reminders to operate. Think about what this means for your manifestation practice. You're not trying to make yourself believe through constant repetition. You're summoning the courage to accept what your deeper self already knows to be true. This shift from gradual persuasion to instant decision changes everything about your relationship with financial abundance. It's no longer a lengthy process of convincing. It's a momentary act of courage that changes everything at once. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by addressing the single greatest test you'll face on this journey of transformation. After you've issued your command with authority, after you've felt that weight in your chest confirming the activation of universal law, there comes a critical moment of truth. Can you hold still? Can you resist the almost overwhelming urge to panic when nothing seems to be happening? Immediately, this is where most people fail in their manifestation journey. They issue their call once, perhaps even with genuine authority, but then almost immediately begin to doubt. They look around nervously, wondering why nothing has changed yet. They start questioning whether they did it right, whether it's actually working, whether they need to try again or try something different. And in that moment of doubt, they cancel their own authority. They undermine the very command they just issued. The revelation here is that doubt after commanding is more damaging than never commanding at all. It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it's growing. The very act of checking prevents the growth you're trying to verify. This is why patience after commanding isn't passive waiting. It's active faith. It's the continued expression of your authority through your unwavering expectation. Behind the scenes of every successful manifestation is this quality of unshakable stillness after commanding. Not the stillness of uncertainty or resignation, but the stillness of absolute confidence. Like the calm certainty of someone who has dropped a letter in the mailbox and knows without question that it will reach its destination. They don't stand by the mailbox wondering if they should try again. They simply walk away, their task complete, their confidence absolute. This quality of stillness after commanding is what separates those who manifest consistently from those who remain trapped in cycles of lack. It's not that the first group has some special power, it's that they understand the process well enough to honor each stage, including the critical stage of unwavering expectation after the command is issued. If you recognize this test of stillness as the crucial moment in your manifestation journey, type "I command once" and stand firm in the comments below. We've been circling around this command, preparing you to receive it with the right understanding. And now here it is, the exact words that pull wealth with absolute certainty. Money appears when I call. Let these words sink in for a moment. Feel their simplicity and their power. This isn't a prayer whispered in desperation. It isn't a wish cast with uncertain hope. It's a decree that reality itself cannot cross. A declaration so aligned with universal law that money has no choice but to respond. The power of this command lies in its directness. Notice there's no pleading, no justification, no complicated visualization process. It's simply the clear statement of what is. Money appears when I call. This statement works because it perfectly aligns with how reality actually functions. Money doesn't resist those who understand its nature. It doesn't delay or hide from those who speak with authority. It appears when called, provided that call comes from genuine understanding rather than desperate hope. Think about how different this approach is from conventional manifestation techniques. Most methods ask you to visualize complex scenarios, repeat lengthy affirmations, or engage in elaborate rituals. But true power never needs complexity. The most fundamental forces in the universe, gravity, electricity, magnetism, all operate through simple, direct principles. Your financial manifestation works the same way. The simpler the command, the more directly it accesses universal law. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by sharing something few manifestation teachers ever discuss: the unmistakable physical confirmation that accompanies this command when spoken with true authority. When you speak these words, "Money appears when I call," with genuine understanding and conviction, you'll experience a tangible physical shift in your body. Many describe it as a vibration or resonance in the chest area, a sudden feeling of expansion or warmth, or even a slight shiver that runs through the body. This physical sensation isn't imagination or wishful thinking. It's your body's way of confirming that something real has happened, that reality itself is bending in response to your command. Think of it as the universe acknowledging the activation of natural law. Just as you feel the ground beneath you when you take a step, confirming that gravity is working, you feel this resonance in your body, confirming that the law of manifestation has been activated. The revelation here is that manifestation isn't just mental, it's physical. It involves your entire being. When the command is issued with complete alignment between your words, your belief, and your physical body, the result is a tangible shift that you can actually feel. This physical confirmation becomes your anchor in the waiting period after commanding. When doubt tries to creep in, you can recall that unmistakable physical sensation as proof that something real has happened. Behind the scenes of every powerful manifestation is this moment of physical alignment, when your words, your beliefs, and your bodily sensations all synchronize in perfect harmony. This alignment doesn't happen through effort or struggle. It happens naturally when you speak truth that your entire being recognizes as truth. Money appears when I call. When these words resonate as deeply true for you, your body confirms what your mind has declared. If you're ready to experience this physical confirmation of your command's power, type, "I feel the shift as I command," in the comments below. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by revealing a crucial insight that most manifestation teachers completely miss. The true power of this command isn't found merely in saying the words, no matter how authoritatively you speak them. The real transformation happens when you begin living inside the command, when "money appears when I call" ceases to be something you test or try and becomes who you fundamentally are at the core of your being. This distinction completely redefines your relationship with manifestation. Most people approach commands like these as external tools, techniques they use when they want something. But genuine transformation occurs when the command becomes your identity rather than your activity. Think about the difference between someone who plays piano and a pianist. One uses the instrument occasionally, the other embodies the music as their very nature. Your relationship with this financial law works exactly the same way. The breakthrough comes when you no longer need to remind yourself that money appears when you call. It simply is who you are, your default way of moving through the world. This isn't pretending or role-playing. It's allowing the truth you've recognized to permeate every aspect of your consciousness until it becomes as natural as breathing, as automatic as blinking. The mindset shift here is profound, from using a technique to embodying a principle. Think about how you currently move through your daily life. When a bill arrives, what's your instinctive response? When an unexpected expense appears, what's your immediate reaction? These automatic responses reveal whether you're merely saying the command or actually living inside it. When the command becomes your identity, financial challenges no longer trigger panic or doubt. They simply activate your natural authority. Money appears when I call. The catalytic moment in this journey of transformation is when you begin treating this financial law with the same unquestioning trust you give to gravity. Consider how you interact with gravity in your daily life. When you step off a curb, do you wonder if gravity might fail you this time? Do you worry that perhaps today is the day when objects will float instead of fall? Of course not. You trust gravity completely, automatically, without conscious thought. This same unquestioning trust is what activates the full power of your financial command. It works because it's law, not because you hope it might or because you've managed to convince the universe to cooperate. When you apply this complete trust to your financial law, when you treat "money appears when I call" with the same certainty you give to gravity, manifestation becomes effortless, automatic, and consistently reliable. Behind the scenes of every wealthy person's life is this unspoken understanding. They may not articulate it in these exact words, but their relationship with money carries this same unquestioning certainty. They don't hope money will come. They don't worry about whether it will appear. They simply know, with the same certainty they know the sun will rise tomorrow, that abundance responds to their call. If you're ready to move beyond merely saying this command to actually living inside it with unquestioning trust, type "I embody this law fully" in the comments below. Let me share with you some practical applications of this command in your everyday financial life. When bills arrive in the mail or appear in your inbox, pay close attention to your immediate response. Most people experience an automatic contraction, a sinking feeling in the stomach, a tightening in the chest, a mental spiral into thoughts of lack and limitation. This reaction isn't just uncomfortable, it actively cancels your financial authority and reinforces the very lack you're trying to overcome. The transformation begins when you create a new automatic response. When bills arrive, instead of contracting into panic, simply look at them with calm certainty and think, "It's already covered. Money appears when I call." This isn't denial or magical thinking. It's consciously choosing to stand in your authority rather than collapsing into reactivity. You're not ignoring the bill. You're changing your relationship with it from one of fear to one of sovereignty. This subtle shift in approach creates a completely different energetic signature around your financial obligations. Instead of bills being dreaded enemies that trigger anxiety, they become neutral events that simply activate your command. This new perspective doesn't just feel better emotionally, it creates a fundamentally different relationship with the universal laws that govern abundance. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by addressing the single greatest saboteur you'll encounter on this journey: doubt. No matter how powerful your initial command, no matter how clear your understanding, doubt will eventually arise. It's not a question of if, but when, and how you handle this doubt determines whether your financial transformation is temporary or permanent. The hidden truth most manifestation teachers never address is that fighting doubt only strengthens it. When you argue with doubt, try to suppress it, or become frustrated by its presence, you actually energize the very thing you're trying to eliminate. The breakthrough comes when you realize that doubt doesn't need to be defeated. It simply needs to be overridden by a higher authority. When doubt creeps in, and it will, don't engage with it directly. Don't try to persuade it or silence it. Simply stand taller than it. Recognize it as a natural part of the process, not a sign of failure. Then, without argument or struggle, override it with the simple restatement of the law: money appears when I call. This isn't repeating the command out of insecurity. It's reaffirming the law from a place of quiet authority that transcends doubt without fighting it. Think about the profound wisdom in this approach. The journey of transformation isn't about eliminating all obstacles or creating a perfect mental environment free from doubt. It's about developing a relationship with doubt that doesn't give it power over your command. Behind the scenes of every successful manifestation is this skill, not the absence of doubt, but the presence of an authority that stands taller than doubt without engaging with it. This perspective completely redefines what success looks like in your manifestation practice. You're no longer aiming for perfect, doubt-free certainty at all times. You're developing the capacity to hold your command steady even when doubt arises. This is the true test of your authority. Not that you never experience doubt, but that doubt no longer cancels your command when it appears. If you recognize this liberating relationship with doubt, standing taller rather than fighting harder, type "I override doubt" with authority in the comments below. One of the most exciting aspects of this journey is what happens after you speak your command with authority. Reality itself begins showing you proof, tangible evidence that your words have been heard and that the law has been activated. These signs often start small. Perhaps you receive an unexpected discount on something you were planning to purchase. Maybe an opportunity appears that wasn't available before. You might find money you didn't know you had, or receive a refund you weren't expecting. Most people dismiss these instances as meaningless coincidences, but they're actually the first ripples of a much larger wave that's beginning to build. The revelation here is that manifestation builds momentum. Each piece of evidence, no matter how small, strengthens the process if you recognize it properly. When you acknowledge these signs as confirmation rather than coincidence, you actually accelerate the manifestation process. It's as if each recognition adds energy to the momentum that's already building. This creates a beautiful upward spiral where evidence creates stronger belief, which creates more evidence, which creates even stronger belief. Think about what this means for your daily awareness. Those small financial windfalls or unexpected opportunities aren't just nice surprises. They're the universe speaking directly to you, confirming that your command has been received and is already working. When you treat them as meaningful responses rather than random events, you participate consciously in the acceleration of your own abundance. Now I want to go even deeper into this topic by sharing one of Joseph Murphy's most profound warnings. He constantly emphasized, "Be careful of your inner conversations." This caution wasn't casual or incidental to his teaching, it was central. Murphy understood that every word you speak inside yourself with genuine belief becomes law, whether you intend it to or not. Your inner dialogue isn't just commentary on your life, it's actively creating your life with each syllable. The catalyst for transformation comes when you realize that the command we've been discussing doesn't just work when spoken aloud. It works with equal power when spoken inside your own mind. In fact, your inner conversations are often more powerful than your external declarations because they tend to carry more genuine belief and less performance or pretense. The breakthrough happens when you understand that this command, "Money appears when I call," has the power to override all previous negative programming. No matter how long you've been speaking lack to yourself, no matter how deeply ingrained your limiting beliefs about money have become, this single command, when spoken with genuine authority, has the power to rewrite your entire financial blueprint. Behind the scenes of every successful manifestation journey is this vigilant awareness of inner conversation. The people who transform their financial reality aren't just careful about what they say to others about money. They're meticulous about what they say to themselves. They recognize that casual internal comments like, "I can't afford that," or "that's too expensive for me," aren't innocent observations. They're powerful commands that shape reality. The journey of wealth transformation accelerates dramatically when you apply the same authority to your inner conversations that you bring to your external declarations. When negative thoughts about money arise, as they inevitably will, you simply override them with your command, spoken internally with the same quiet certainty. "Money appears when I call." If you're beginning to notice how your inner dialogue has been shaping your financial reality all along, type "I command wealth in my inner conversations" in the comments below. Let me share with you one of the most profound aspects of this financial transformation, something that goes far beyond simply having more money. When you truly embody this command, you experience a radical shift in identity. You no longer recognize yourself as the person who once chased money, who worried about finances, who felt powerless in the face of economic forces beyond your control. That identity dissolves completely, replaced by someone who knows, not hopes, not wishes, but knows that money responds to their call. This transformation isn't gradual or incremental. It happens in an instant, the moment you genuinely accept the truth of your authority. The old self doesn't slowly evolve. into the new self. It simply disappears, replaced by an identity so different that you'll sometimes wonder how you ever lived as that previous person. This isn't about putting on an act or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about allowing yourself to be who you truly are, a being whose words shape reality. Think about the most significant identity shifts you've experienced in your life, perhaps becoming a parent, starting a new career, or moving to a different country. Remember how those changes weren't just about doing different things, but about becoming a different person. This financial transformation works exactly the same way. You don't just have different thoughts about money. You become someone who relates to money in a fundamentally different way. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by revealing something that most manifestation teachers never discuss: how this internal shift creates visible, tangible changes that others can actually perceive. When this new law begins operating through you, your energy shifts in ways that are subtle but unmistakable. People feel your authority before you even speak. They're drawn to you without understanding why. Opportunities seem to find you without you having to chase them. The universe itself begins to rearrange around you to obey your call. This isn't imagination or wishful thinking. It's the natural consequence of your internal alignment with universal law. When you truly embody the certainty that money appears, when you call, that certainty radiates from you like heat from a fire. Others don't need to know what you're thinking or what commands you've issued. They simply feel the unmistakable presence of someone who understands and embodies natural law. The revelation here is that manifestation isn't just changing your personal financial circumstances, it's changing how the entire world responds to you. Behind the scenes of every dramatic life transformation is this shift in how others perceive and interact with you. It's as if the universe conspires to confirm your new identity through every encounter, every conversation, every opportunity that suddenly appears in your path. This external confirmation creates a powerful feedback loop. As you witness others responding differently to you, your confidence in your command strengthens. As your confidence strengthens, your energy becomes even more magnetic. As your energy becomes more magnetic, even more people and opportunities are drawn to you. This upward spiral continues, constantly reinforcing and expanding your new identity as someone whose call money obeys without question. If you've already begun to notice this shift in how others respond to you, even subtle changes in how people treat you or the opportunities that seem to find you, type "My energy is transforming everything" in the comments below. Now let me share with you one of the most powerful challenges on this journey of financial transformation. Once you've spoken your command with authority, once you've felt that resonance in your body confirming that universal law has been activated, you face a critical invitation to live as though this law is already operating in your life, not as something you're hoping will eventually work. This isn't pretending or engaging in elaborate self-deception. It's making a profound decision to align your daily experience with what you know to be true at the deepest level. Imagine walking through your day with the quiet certainty that money is moving toward you, like a tide with every step you take. Visualize wealth echoing back to you with every word you speak, like sound bouncing across a canyon. Feel in your body what it's like to move through the world as someone for whom financial abundance is already a settled matter. The catalyst for genuine transformation happens when you close the gap between your command and your daily experience. Most people create this division in their consciousness. They issue powerful commands in their meditation time, but then return to their regular lives as if nothing has changed. But those who truly transform their financial reality refuse this division. They carry the energy of their command into every moment, every interaction, every decision throughout their day. This approach doesn't just feel different, it creates a completely different energetic signature that the universe responds to immediately. Your bodily posture changes, your voice carries different resonance. The decisions you make come from a fundamentally different foundation, and these subtle shifts signal to reality itself that you're no longer the person who hoped for wealth someday. You're the person who calls wealth now. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by addressing the most significant transformation of all. Money appears when I call isn't just a phrase you repeat when you want something. It's a declaration that cuts straight through your old identity and establishes who you are at the deepest level. This command becomes embedded in your very being, not something you do, but something you are. Think about the profound implications of this shift. Your relationship with money is no longer an external negotiation with forces beyond your control. It's an expression of your fundamental nature, as natural as your heartbeat, as automatic as your breathing. You don't have to remember to call money any more than you have to remember to be yourself. The command and your identity become inseparably fused. The journey toward this fusion isn't about adding something new to yourself. It's about removing everything that isn't authentically you. Behind the scenes of every profound transformation is this process of stripping away the accumulated conditioning that has obscured your natural authority. The old identity, the one that struggled with money, that believed in lack and limitation, wasn't your true self. It was a collection of borrowed beliefs that never belonged to you in the first place. When money appears when I call becomes your identity rather than just your practice. Wealth flows to you with the same natural ease as water flowing downhill. There's no resistance, no delay, no separation between your call and its fulfillment, because there's no separation between who you are and what you command. If you're beginning to sense this fusion between your command and your identity, this merging of what you say and who you are, type "I am the command itself" in the comments below. One of Joseph Murphy's most transformative teachings was this profound insight. Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Most people approach manifestation backwards. They try to change their external circumstances first, hoping that once their finances improve, they'll finally be able to see themselves as prosperous. But Murphy understood the hidden truth, that transformation moves from the inside out, never from the outside in. When you speak this command, "Money appears when I call," with genuine authority, you're doing something far more significant than trying to attract wealth. You're fundamentally altering your conception of who you are. You're no longer the person hoping for financial change someday. You're the person who embodies the very principle that creates that change. This shift in self-conception isn't gradual or incremental. It happens in an instant, the moment you genuinely accept the truth of who you really are. Think about the radical nature of this transformation. Most approaches to financial improvement focus on external actions, better budgeting, smarter investments, higher income. While these practical steps have their place, they can't create lasting abundance if your self-conception remains rooted in lack. But when you change who you believe yourself to be at the core, these external actions naturally align with your new identity. You make different decisions, not because you're forcing yourself to, but because they're the natural expression of who you now know yourself to be. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic by revealing the final and most profound shift on this journey of financial transformation. This is the ultimate revelation that separates those who struggle financially from those who thrive effortlessly. It's the shift from trying to make wealth happen to embodying the absolute certainty that it already has. This isn't semantic wordplay. It's a fundamental reorientation of your entire relationship with manifestation. Most people spend their lives trying to attract money, trying to think positive thoughts, trying to visualize abundance, trying to convince the universe they deserve more. But trying, by its very nature, contains the energy of effort, struggle, and the possibility of failure. Embodying, on the other hand, carries none of that baggage. It's the quiet certainty of someone who doesn't need to try because they already know. The catalyst for this final breakthrough isn't learning new techniques or gathering more information. It's surrendering to the truth you've been circling all along. Money appears when you call because it's your law, and the universe has no choice but to obey. Not because you're special or chosen, but because you've aligned yourself with how reality actually functions. This isn't arrogance or delusion. It's simply the recognition of universal principles that have been operating all along, whether you were aware of them or not. This embodiment creates a profound sense of peace that most people never experience in their financial lives. Behind the scenes of genuine prosperity is this quality of restful certainty, not the frantic energy of someone still trying to make things happen, but the calm assurance of someone who knows it's already done. Money doesn't resist this energy. It responds to it instantly, appearing in your life with the same natural ease as gravity pulling an apple to the ground. If this final shift from effort to embodiment resonates with your deepest intuition about how manifestation truly works, type "I embody the law of abundance" in the comments below. You know, I can feel the shift that's happened as we've moved through this journey together. There's a different energy now than when we first began, a quiet certainty that wasn't there before. This is exactly how transformation works. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It simply arrives as a knowing that changes everything. If you've felt that resonance as we've explored this command, if something deep inside you recognized these truths as something you've always known but perhaps forgotten, I'd love to hear from you. Type "The command awakens what I already knew" in the comments so I can connect with those who truly felt this message. This journey of financial transformation doesn't end here. It's just beginning to unfold in ways you'll notice more and more each day. The command we've explored is like a seed that's been planted in fertile soil. It's already growing, already changing the landscape of your financial reality, even if you can't see all the evidence yet. If the insights we've shared today have brought value to your journey, consider subscribing to continue this exploration together. Each video builds on these principles, taking you deeper into the practical application of these universal laws in every area of your life, not just finances. When something resonates this deeply, it deserves acknowledgement. A simple like lets me know these teachings are finding the right people, those ready to move beyond conventional manifestation techniques to the deeper truths of how reality actually responds to your command. There's another video right here that takes this command to the next level, showing you exactly how to apply it to specific financial goals. Click, and let's continue this journey together. Because what we've covered today is just the beginning of what's possible when you truly understand that money appears when you call.